Hello friends, welcome to SahuStudies. In this video, we are going to discuss about DAX variable evaluation order in Power BI. So once DAX engine reaches the variable, those variables are locked. This means variable cannot be modified later in the query. What does it mean? So suppose we have defined a variable, right? And we have given certain kind of a expression in it. This variable only be referenced. If you want to change the variable later point of a time in a DAX query by providing some different measures, it would not going to work. We can see here that this is a measure name. Here we are just defining a variable. The variable name is AP total order mail. Here we are just putting an expression. It is nothing but it is calculating total amount, total quantity sold by the mail customer, and here we are just returning a mail. It will going to work, right? Expected whatever the expected output it will go. This will give it will give the expected output based on this expression. Now here what we are just doing, we are just doing the same thing. We are just calculating the total quantity sold by the customer, but whenever we are just returning, we are providing an expression also, and here also what we are just doing, we are just returning, we are calculating, and we are trying to change the AP total order sales value, and here it is trying to modify it with the help of a calculate function. This variable cannot be modified, it has been defined. So this variable is already defined here. It also provided a expression. So this defined variable will not going to be modified later point of a time in the same DAX query. It only be referenced. So this value which is providing by this measure is not the correct output. So one of the key takeaway is that once the variable is defined, it will only be referenced. It will not going to modified in the later DAX query. In this exercise, we are going to use this data set. If you want to understand the data model, then please watch video number 12 in this playlist. What we are just doing here, we are creating a measure. Here we are just declaring a variable. Here we are just providing an expression of the variable. What the expression is doing, it is calculating the total quantity sold to the female customer, and here we are just returning the variable which we have defined here. Again, here we are just creating. Okay, so before creating this measure, let's create this measure in the Power BI, and then we will going to create this measure which is not correct. Okay, so let me first define this measure. So what this measure is doing, it is creating a it is calculating the total quantity sold by a female customer. So let me go to the Power BI. Let me create a measure. Name the measure as Name the measure as whatever the name we have given here, or AP retail order by female. We are defining a variable total order by female. How we are doing? We are calculating. How we are calculating? So let me put here total quantity AP retail order by female, or we can say here total customer sales AP retail AP 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 retail customer sales AP retail customer sales. In the calculate, I think we need to put into the sum. Okay, so let me do sum. AP AP retail sales by customer. AP retail quantity sold. Let me close here this sum. Let me format it, and here let me put a filter. Here the same filter which has been shown here. Put filter. In this filter, what we are just doing, filtering on the basis of AP retail customer lookup, and in the customer lookup, we are going to filter based on the gender. AP retail customer lookup gender, and gender. What we are just looking for, we are looking for female. Let me close this. Let me close this, and let me return. Return. What we are just returning, we are returning total order by female. Right. Rename the images. The name female is already used by another table. Okay. Just rename it as a AP retail order by female. So just rename it as that's evaluation order. Right. This measure has been created successfully. Failed to resolve an AP order quantity by female. Okay. It is not a table variable or a function name. Return again. It is okay now. It has created. So this DAX is created. So what we are just doing, we are just defining this variable, and we are providing this expression, and we are returning this variable. Now let me just put a table. and here just use AP transaction quantity and the variable which we have just the measures which we have created. So the value would look like this, right? And we also put the total sales. Okay, total sales. The total sales would put here transaction and the total sales. So here it is doing, it is a total sales. Okay, we can see here, this is the date, this is the total sales of the customer, and this is the total sales or total order which is placed by female customer. Now let's go to the PPT. Now this is the variable which we have defined correctly. We have put it some expression correctly, and we have returning this variable correctly within our measures. See here, what we are just doing here, we are calculating the same thing, total quantity sold, but and here we are defining the variable, and this is the expression, and what we are returning, we are returning a expression, and in the expression we are using this AP total customer, AP total order female customer, and we are trying to modify it with the help of a calculate, which is not correct, because the variable, once it's defined, it's only be referenced, but it will not going to modify it. But here we are trying to modify it with the help of a calculate function. That's why the output which is provided by this measures will not write. Let's write this measures and just see the output. Let me create a new measure. Name the measure as AP retail order by female and we are putting not correct. What we are just doing, we are defining a variable. What is the name of the variable? AP total order by female. How we are calculating? We are calculating with the help of a sum, and what we are just doing, we are just adding or sum the AP retail. This is the column which we want to sum, and then what we are just doing, we are returning what we are returning, we are returning a expression, and the expression includes calculate, and what we are just trying to modify, we are trying to modify this variable. So in that variable, what we are going to do, what we are just defining, what we are modifying, we are just filtering let me, this should not put female customer. Let me order by all customer. Let's put all customer, and this is the female. And what we are just trying to do here, we are just filtering based on what? Filtering based on the retail AP retail customer lookup, and from the oh sorry, 1 minute. And in the customer lookup, what we are just doing, we are filtering based on the gender, and the gender is female. Close it. This. Let me close this one and done. Now this variable has been defined successfully. Now here in this table, let me add this variable also. Let me just put both values. So this is the correct value, and this is not the correct value, because what we are just doing here in this measure, what we are trying to do, we are trying to modify this variable. But once the variable has been defined, once it's provided an expression to it, it only be referenced, it will not be modified. But here we are trying to modify this variable, which is not correct. Let's go to the PPT. Thank you. If you like content of my video, then please subscribe my channel, like it, comment on it, and press the bell icon to get notification whenever I add videos.